Hi guys, I am Aisha Siddharth and today I am going to show you one of the most requested videos by you guys. I'm going to show you how to make perfectly golden fried crispy onions at home, but one that doesn't absorb oil or is greasy. So there's a few tips and tricks, but follow along and by the end of it you will have golden crispy onions at home with minimal effort. So let's get straight into it. So before we get started, I want to show you guys prepping as always I say is key. So we've got a pot that's ready here. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you use a thick based pot or pan. So the thicker the base is, the onions are going to get cooked right through on medium heat, and also they're not going to burn. One of the most important ingredients that we need to be using here is going to be your cooking oil. A good quality sunflower cooking oil is going to be key. I prefer using the sunflower cooking oil because it's really good for your health, high in polyunsaturated fat. Then we need a nice slotted spoon so that we make sure that we just get the onions out, leave the oil behind, and also a nice wide tray. As soon as the onions come out of here, we're going to leave it in a thin layer so that it doesn't obviously, sort of get soggy with the excess oil. And that way we're going to make sure we have crispy onions. Now let's get to the star of the show, which is the actual onions. Now, a key tip to remember is if you can slice your onions the day before, that'll be amazing, because the drier the onions are, the crispier they're going to get, the less oil they're going to absorb. If you, however, do not have the time to do that, you can obviously just do it just before frying it or the morning as well. I've just sliced some onions here, but I'm going to show you quickly a tip how I slice my onions, but feel free to use a mandolin as well. A mandolin works great as well. Now, this is how I have been slicing my onions all my life from a really young age. So I take a kitchen cloth, wrap it around my thumb, and here it goes with the knife, obviously a really sharp knife. The thinner the onions, the crispier they're going to get. Another tip to remember is just sprinkle the onions with a little bit of salt, and that will also help it get rid of extra moisture that's in the onions, and you will end up having perfectly crispy golden fried onions. Right, so let's get our pan on and we put this on medium high heat. Once the pan is hot, we're going to go in with our cooking oil. The sunflower oil is naturally cholesterol free, so it's obviously the preferred choice for me to use in my kitchen. Also, they bake on family values, so that also works great for us. Once the pan is nice and hot, we are going to go in with the oil. Now, another tip to remember is when using your oil, whichever the oil that you use to fry your onions, never discard that oil, because that oil has got loads and loads of flavor, and you can always use it for other dishes. You can always use it for biryani, for chicken curry. It just gives that extra added flavor. So remember, we're not doing this on super high heat, so you're not bringing that oil to that temperature where you're not going to be able to use it after once or twice. So we're going to cook this on medium high heat, slow and gentle, but that will also give us a beautiful color. And there we go, we go in with our cooking oil, and once the oil is hot, we are going to go in with our onions. Now, I have sprinkled salt generously into these onions, and what we've got is we've got extra moisture that's sort of just accumulated at the bottom of this tray here. So I'm going to dry this out with a kitchen towel, and then we're going to go in to this oil with the onions. Alright guys, so our oil is nice and hot. We're going to go in with our onions, and I've just sort of taken the extra moisture out onto a kitchen towel, and we're going to just gently fry this on medium-high heat. Now, the tip here is to make sure that we continuously sort of stir our onions so that they don't end up getting burnt. And when it's almost sort of 70 to 80% cooked. When it's about 70 to 80% cooked, then what we want to do is keep a very, very close eye on it, because that is when it gets really, really tricky, and that's when it'll go super, super fast from that stage onwards. So in the initial stages, it's actually not so bad, but once it's about 70 to 80% done, then you really want to keep a very close full and a watchful eye on it. This is about 50 to 60% done. We sort of just continue to braise it every now and again, but once it's about, like I say, once it's about 75-80% done, then you want to just keep a really, really close eye on it. At this stage, if I keep quiet, you guys will actually be able to hear the sound, the noise that's coming out of the oil also starts changing. It literally starts changing. Keep a close ear on it and listen to it. Right, so that's it at this stage. I'm really just going to bring the heat down, keep a watchful eye on it, and if you find that it's, going altogether too quick, too fast, remove it off the heat completely and then just start there. Right, so what we're going to do is just allow the residual heat to just give it that extra little bit of color that we're looking for. It's nice, it's beautiful, it's golden. We can always put it back on here if I need to, but remember at this stage it goes super quick and super fast, so you really just want to keep an eye on it. So there we go. With the help of a slotted spoon, we take off all the extra oil, all the extra fat. Onions, for them to be golden and crispy and brown and beautiful, whether it's for biryani, whether it's for curry, should never be done in anything other than a good quality oil. Right, so there we go. Heat off. And this way, once the onions are nice and cold, you can obviously just store them in an airtight container in your fridge till when you need it to cook. And there we go. We're gonna just, with the help of the spoon, just lay this out, allow it to cool completely, and once it's cool, you can use your hands and just let you hear the crunch of it. The cooler it gets, the nicer and crunchier they're going to get. And what's nice about it is this is done right in front of you, in the comfort of your own homes, in your own kitchen, knowing which oil, which fat has been used. If it's good for you, good for your family, good for your heart. Remember, we choose and we control what we put into our bodies. It is so important to make conscious decisions. Can you hear the crunch? There we go. So that is your perfectly golden fried crispy onions. Leave it to cool completely. Air dry, room temperature. Once it's cool completely, you can simply just store it in a container, airtight Tupperware like this. Or what I would do, what my suggestion would be, take half, crush it with your hands, leave that for your curry, biryani, whatever other dishes, and some for your garnish. That is your perfectly golden fried crispy onions using sunflower oil. That was good.